Let me tell you about a very masculine and interesting competition that I involved myself a couple of months back. You see, as I started to join more and more online communities and starting to meet more and more interesting people, I noticed something very interesting about one of the online communities that I just joined. You see, it was hosted on an app called school.com, which is basically like just an online community platform where you can, even create your own paid community. And yeah, basically in that app, you have what is called levels. And you can get these levels by, being active and by other people just, liking your posts and your comments. So like whenever someone likes your post or your comments that you made that you make on the platform on a specific, school community, for example, you then get 1 point. So like, and then once these points stack up, you can get a certain level. And sometimes it isn't in every single school community. You unlock priceless rewards. So like for example, in this one masculine online community that I joined, let's say that for example, level 6, which was after like 500 points, gave you access to powerful courses. Then at level 7, which was like 2000 points, you could get access to online one-on-one calls with the, you know, online community owner. And then after like 8000 points, you can get access to level 8, which is, yeah, something very sacred. And then, for example, level 9, which is like 33,000 points, yeah, that can literally give you something like meeting the community owner right there in person. And as I started to climb this leaderboard, more and more of who had the most amounts of points in that school community, and as I was getting higher and slowly higher and higher and higher, as I was climbing the ladder of points, I was getting into the 2000 point mark, I was getting into the 3000 point mark. My goal was to get to the 8000 point mark and unlock level 8. That was my goal for like 2.5 months straight. And let me tell you, I wasn't gonna give up a single bit, no matter how dead the community was at that time. I just wanted to get that level 8 mark as soon as possible. And as I was as I was slowly climbing the leaderboard one day, I overtook one of the guys in there. And this guy, oh boy, he did not take it lightly. He's a self-improvement content creator, just like I am. And let me tell you, he literally declared a war on me. The point war started, and it was in full swing. And let me tell you, the first moment that I heard that he declared a war on me to see who would get to level 8 first, do you know what I did? I said challenge accepted, or something along those lines. And immediately I went onto my trampoline and I relaxed. But what do you mean, TR? You are meant to get all pumped up like the super hyper masculine content creator that you are. But no, my timeless reader. The first thing that I did was just relax and use my visualizations to calm me down. I knew that in the end, I always win in the long term because long term strategies never fail, bro. Even in chess, bro. I always win the long term game. That's what just happens to me each and every single time. Yeah, sure. In the short term, I may be like a few hundred points behind, but here's the kicker. I always knew that I was gonna be consistent pretty much for a long time, right? Like over the past like year by that point, I've been working on my work ethic, up for, on my productivity, on my discipline for so damn long that I could work even from the bottom of the ocean for 12 hours straight. Now, of course, I wasn't gonna spend 12 hours every single day on the online community just being active. Of course, that would be insomnia level of dedication, but yeah, of course, I still had other things to worry about, bigger priorities in my life, whether that would be actually recording videos for my channel, reading books, just actually living life. Yeah. And so the war dragged on. We reached the 4,000 point mark. We reached the 5,000 point mark. And until this time, The war has been dragging on for like a month now, I would say. And there was no sign that it was gonna stop until like a month and a half later. Both of us, yeah, we were fighting every single day. We were getting hundreds of activities in every single day. And none of us showed the slightest sign of wanting to stop. And yet, through all of this pain, I still retained my relaxed attitude. I knew that, yeah, our goal was now only 3,000 points away, but whatever. I still knew that I would win the long term game. And that's exactly what happened. Because immediately after we reached like the 5.5 thousand point mark, whatever, I don't remember the exact numbers, that guy that I was, you know, gaining points against, he started to get less active. Hmm, very interesting. He started to put less and less activities in every single day. He suddenly started making excuses that, his school was more demanding, that that he had to stay over at his other family's place or whatever, and now he didn't have any time to be active, which gave me the edge. And I eventually overtook him because, of course, by all of this time for the first month, he was ahead of me by like 100 or 200 points. It depended. Sometimes I was, you know, lagging behind more, sometimes less, but that doesn't matter. And so this started to occur more and more oftenly, and this gave me the huge competitive edge. And I ended up surpassing him after like a week. And yeah, and I retained my long term growth as if nothing changed, because nothing truly changed. And so I started to get more and more ahead of him, 500 points ahead of him, 1,000 points ahead of him, 1,500 points ahead of him, 2,000 points ahead of him. And whilst I was finally on the brink of reaching level 8, I had like 7.5k points, and he had like 6,000, I believe. Yeah, I realized that there was no going back. I was gonna win this war. And so, as I finally reached level 8, it was over. GG's. And he even congratulated me. And yeah, that's just how it went. And so, what do you think that actually got me there? Do you think that it was the short-term motivation masculine boost that you get after watching one motivational video? Do you think that it was my ultimate productivity that actually got me there? Do you think that it was my discipline that got me there? Do you think that it was my willpower that got me there to resist bad habits and negative temptations? Bro, there were days where I fapped and I still got in 100 activities. I was that dedicated. So, what actually got me there? It was the fact that I was ahead of him in the spiritual and the mental realm, whilst he was only ahead of me in the physical realm. Let me explain. Before anything can exist in reality, like physically, it must first exist mentally, meaning that before you can manifest anything in your life and let it slowly materialize, you must be in a complete state of calm, and you must completely visualize it, just playing out already. Like, before I was ahead of him, like at the end of the war, I was ahead of him by like 1,500 points. Before that, all the way back in like late November when that war started, I was already visualizing myself being ahead of him by thousands of points, and it ended up becoming a reality. Sure, like a month and a half later, but it still became a reality, and I still overtook him. And second of all, not just, visualizing me already winning, but second of all, actually wishing him success. Because keep in mind, I wasn't undermining his potential. I wasn't doing anything to sabotage him. No, no, no. I was just doing my own thing. I couldn't care less to sabotage his reputation. Of course, he didn't do anything like that to me, but I knew that he was trying to pull some strings behind my back or something like that. And so yeah, I was just wishing him success. Like in a boxing match, before they wished each other success, and they actually before they actually fight and try to kill each other. Yeah, that's it. That's what I did. During those 2.5 months of our entire competition, I whenever I was thinking about him, I was doing nothing else but just thinking about him succeeding. And I bet my ass that he literally thought about beating me each and every single day. He literally had those kinds of mental thoughts every single day. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat TR, he's gonna be embarrassed in front of the whole online community. Those are just my speculations, so bro, if you're watching this, I don't know what was going through your head, but whatever. I'm trying to make a point. Basically, whenever you get into any kind of competition, I don't care what kind of it is, whether it is like a small competition like this online community point war, or whether it is a boxing competition, you must always sow the seeds in your mind of them succeeding, because then you will actually reap this, the rewards of winning. Let me explain. Jesus said in, they said in the 10 holy commandments that we should love our neighbor like ourselves. We should not hate anyone. And that's fucking true, honestly. And so, whenever you try to visualize someone, never visualize them mentally, having a mental breakdown, having being unsuccessful and all of these things, because eventually what you do to others will be done unto you. So, with that logic, if you just wish other people success in life, if you visualize them having the desired reality that you wish to have, if you desire them winning, then you will win. However, let them visualize, you failing. So in the end, you'll be in the right state of mind, whilst they will be undermining their own potential because they are breaking one of the 10 holy commandments. So not only will you win the game by being aligned with the higher planes of existence, meaning the mental one and the spiritual one, but also by being aligned with two of these, it will create the perfect circumstances, the perfect timings, the perfect opportunities for you to take in order to win. That's how it is. And that's exactly what happened. He started to take more days off. He started to get less active after like 4 weeks of grinding every single day. You understand what I'm trying to say? It exactly went completely in my favor. And that's because I was just in a calmness that, yeah, I was gonna win in the long term game. Because that's just exactly what's gonna happen. Like 95% of all the guys in there already worked only because of motivational highs. And not just that. Like even if they were disciplined like he was, then eventually their life is just gonna catch up with them. You cannot stop this mental alchemy from taking over your life. You must work with it or get destroyed by it. Okay? So that's exactly what you must do. And don't just take this from me. I am a person who has helped countless amounts of people in the past achieve their desired reality, get into the right state of mind, and get a stronger discipline, willpower, productivity, and all of these good things. And guess what? They haven't even seen my timeless reader's mindsets yet, which is a collection of 24 unbreakable mindsets that, if applied to your day to day life, will guarantee success in any kind of life situation with any kind of goal. So go grab it right now with a discount that is over there. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you